Good evening. My name is Nick Heidenberg from the St. John DeMatha Council in Hydesville, Maryland. Tonight we have a story entitled Forgotten Children. Forgotten Children is an apostolate, and I would like to introduce our speaker tonight, Francoise Remington. Good evening.
Nice to meet you. Good evening.
Could you tell us about your apostolate, Forgotten Children?
My work is to be an advocate for children who are being exploited in the world, and because no one speaks for them. And I'm working mainly now in the question of child labor in India, with children who are working more than 8 or 10 hours a day with very little pay and in terrible conditions.
Why is there a problem with child labor in these countries?
Child labor is growing in India, and it's estimated to be about 55 million of children between the age of 7 and 14 who are working. There are several reasons. One is the poverty, of course, but it's also the increase in demand of cheap labor at the world in level. And big corporations are looking for cheap labor. And one of the places where you can find cheap labor is a country like India.
Now, how does a child advocate work on behalf of these children?
You have in India, I'm talking about India, but there are other countries with child labor, but I'm talking about India because I know this country. You have people already who work for the children, you know, like Mother Teresa. You have people also who are not as known, but they are there, they are in the slum, and they work for the children. And one way is to help them to make known about their work in other countries, like in America, and helps to support their work for the children.
And you testified before Congress, I hear.
Yes.
What was that about?
I testified to challenge the World Bank, who is pushing for more and more export, who is also implementing very large projects. And in those large projects, you have children working. And I testified in front of Congress to say that some part of our taxes are going to the World Bank, and we have no say about it. And we could request as taxpayers that make sure that none of our money is used for child labor.
How did you yourself become interested in child labor?
My husband and I have adopted 3 children from India. And at some point I gave up my teaching career and I became a director of a small program of adoption from India. And I will go to India several times a year and work with orphanage there. And that's where I was told about the children who are working. And a nun with a friend told me, and Sister Rita, that was in 1987, she said, why don't you go look in the factory and see how the children are? And that's how I become involved.
What did you find in these factories?
The first factory I saw, it was behind world. What I saw was, it was in Sivakasi in Tamil Nadu, a large room with small children, little girls mainly, between 5 and 10 years old, sitting in a row and working all day long, doing the same gesture. They were putting matches in boxes. And their little fingers were all deformed. And I did not know at the time what to do, but I knew that someday I will do something for those children.
So these children were not being educated, they were not, what was the room like? Was there ventilation? Was there
No, in many of those places you have no ventilation, there are no access to education, and they are really exploited in the sense that they are paid. They often do the work of an adult, but they are paid half at least of what an adult will get.
Why are parents permitting their children to work like this? Or is this coming from children who have no parents?
Well, some parents don't know in some industry, like the rug industry, they don't really know about the condition. Someone come to the village and lie to the parents and say, we'll take your child to a nice place where he will bring money home. And the parents don't know. And in some places, unfortunately, the parents themselves have been working as children, and there is no other choice. At least that's what they are thinking.
Mm-hmm. And so what are the normal ages of the children involved in this?
Many of the cheapest labor is found among children between 8 years old and 12 years old, which is against the law.
Mm-hmm. Against the law in India?
Yes.
Why are not are the laws? I guess they're not being enforced.
The law are not. There's a lot of corruption. A lot of money is involved. People profit from those children.
And what is the result of? I know that you're working on behalf of them. Mother Teresa has and
Mm-hmm.
the sister Rita.
Mm-hmm.
What is the response of the employers once they're getting them out?
They don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
The employer don't like this. And you have to be careful how you approach the employer. There are two ways. Some activists just go and physically take the children, remove them from the workplace. There is a quieter way to do, a gentle way. What Sister Rita or those people are doing is that the children, the family needs the income. So you have to do some kind of compromise. You can reduce the time that the children are working and then send them to school in the evening, and also do advocacy work to say that childhood is sacred, holy, that children have the right to have childhood.
What does this say about children who their childhood is being stolen from them?
Mm-hmm.
Not only in India,
Mm-hmm.
but this kind of view where children are people that we can get away with this kind of thing. Do you see that here in the United States as well as India and other countries?
Yeah, and I wish there is a movement. We do a lot for animals who are in danger. And I think childhood is in danger too. And we adults who had been lucky to have a childhood have to fight to protect this precious time of our life when you have to be a child.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be protected. And I think not enough is done in that issue, not only in India, but even here.
Well, even in our educational system, it seems we may not force them in labor, but in the United States they throw birth control pills at them and condoms at a very early age. And this seems to me a part of the issue, that of their childhood being taken away from them.
Yeah, you should not rush children.